Wow, yeah, check him out, man. That's wicked, isn't it?
Yeah, he certainly takes the food.
He's lovely, isn't he?
That's a coliber, so that one was from Wharf a little while back.
You've got one round the back here. Is that the one you were talking about a minute ago?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's the...
What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Now it's really early on a Saturday morning. I've got a 2-hour drive. I'm going to visit Jordan's fish today. Me and Jordan have been following each other on Instagram. We've been talking to each other for about three years now, maybe 4 years, something like that. So obviously I've seen loads of his fish, but I've never actually met the guy. So I've got about a 2-hour drive. I've just about hit the road. Big Dave's just having his breakfast this morning. So let's hit the road and let's see what his setups are like. So I just got to Jordan's house now. This is his display tank in his lounge. It's absolutely beautiful, mate. You've got some wicked bits in there. So what size tank have you got here then, buddy?
So this is a 7 foot long, 2 foot wide, 2.5 foot tall. I think it's about 1,000 litres plus the sun.
And it's ND Aquatics, isn't it?
Yeah, ND Aquatics tank, built on site because of access. Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary when they start bringing all the glass in it. I know, and you go, what have I done?
Bringing the glass through.
Yeah.
Other half comes home and says, is that really the size of it?
Is that staying there? Yeah. Oh no. And what's your stock, mate? I see you've got quite a few bits in there.
So there's a whole community in here. We've got, starting at the top, there's a little Florida Gar. There's multiple Bichir, so there's a little one going past there, a little Poly. We've got 3 Geophagus, which have been in here from the beginning.
Yeah, they're monsters, aren't they?
Geophagus Altafrons, some silverdollars, the wide bar silverdollar, the Waru. So the Waru are quite recent additions. I got them off another chap. They'd had their fins quite battered, for want of a better term. I've been trying to see if they'll come back, but I think they are beyond coming back now, if I'm honest.
Well, they got a fair bit more growing to do though, haven't they? So
yeah, they've got a lot of growing to do, and they've certainly managed to pack on a little bit of weight with me. But I'm not sure if those fins will ever come back. So there's 2 that are fin perfect, and 2 that aren't so great. So there's also a sailfin plaque underneath the bogwood in the middle. Yeah,
see him blending in.
So he's been covered by sand.
Yeah.
Obviously they're not used to the light on at this sort of time of day. Normally have the lights on in the evening. So they've all been a bit jumpy this morning. And there's like an African bushfish over here.
Oh yeah, look at him.
Skirting straight away as soon as we mention him.
Yeah,
he's coming
there you
back
go,
look,
look.
The bogwood now. There's a gold sev behind the bogwood as well. So that gold sev, the Geophagus and the silverdollars, and the sailfin plaque was sort of a South American community I started with. And then it sort of moved on from there.
It spirals into something else, doesn't it? Yeah. I know.
But
that Geo's lovely, isn't it? Well, they both are.
Yeah, there's 3 of them there. There's 2 males and a female. I've bred them in the past, so I've raised fry out of this tank. They got them to the free swimming stage, and I removed them, raised them up, and took them to a local shop.
Oh, nice.
Really, really good experience. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. There's a Polypterus, what will now be Polypterus Bichir. Would have once been a Lapradii.
He's lovely, isn't he?
That's a coliber, so that one was from Wharf a little while back.
You've got one round the back here. Is that the one you were talking about a minute ago?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's the Poly.
It's one of those tanks when you forget what you've got in there and it's all hidden. It's wicked, isn't it?
If you sit for a while, especially at feeding time, you see all sorts sort of emerge out. There's been a lot of fish in here over time as well. So
he's well cool, isn't he? This one.
Yeah.
Bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, he'd somebody bought him and taken him back to my local shop because he'd eaten all their tetra.
Actually.
Wasn't really a surprise if you know what you've bought.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was taken in. I think I took him the same day he was taken in. And he's settled in really well.
What sand is this, mate, in here? What is
this is just play sand. It's
Yeah.
too fine really, and there's too much of it, if I'm honest. It's just something that, when I was setting up the tank, it was readily available in the sort of quantity I needed.
Yeah.
And was cheap and cheerful.
Yeah, it works really well, doesn't it? Does the job.
I like the lightness of it. I prefer probably a coarser grain. Yeah, something that doesn't get kicked up so much.
Yeah, I've recently got into the JBL river sand.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm falling in love with it, mate. It's great, and it doesn't get kicked up whatsoever. Especially with the stingrays and stuff, they love it. They play with it, bury themselves.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. It's something that I would definitely do in the future. Would be changing that out.
Yeah, because this stuff, once it's up in the air, well, in the water, it takes a while for it to sink, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can see it in there now. There's a bit of it floating around.
And what system have got on this then, sump-wise? How big is it?
So I think the sump was a 4-foot sump underneath, with a return pump whose brand escapes me at the moment, but it's, I want to say 12,000 litres an hour or something like that, return pump. It's only running sort of 50% on this. There's a small, I can't remember how you pronounce it now, tunes I think it is.
Wave pump,
just to give it a little bit more surface agitation.
Yeah.
So you get that sort of rippling effect on the sand.
Yeah, and it stops like the oils from the frozen food sitting at the top, doesn't it?
Especially if you're feeding anything like lancefish or anything like that.
Yeah, very oily, isn't it?
Move it along, and the sump takes care of that in the end. A couple of Eheim heaters in there, lots of ceramic media. It's K1 media, but bagged. I watched a video of yours the other day where you were talking about people having it as static or like flowing.
Yeah.
But I've actually got it in there in media bags.
Right.
Because I had an issue with it where it sort of disintegrated and caused a right mess.
Yeah, and it can go in the pump then, can't it?
Yeah, so I decided to take it out and bag it up.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, and it keeps it all neat. And if you want to rinse it with your tank water,
you just dunk it in the bucket and it's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's running. Well, it's ran like that now for, must be coming up to 6 years, 5.5 probably. Yeah, it's a nice steady system. Regular water changes every week.
That's it, and you never run into any problems then, do you? You get into a good routine. That's it.
I'm a fan of big water changes. I know some people say do smaller, but I'm sort of, well, yeah, it was probably sort of 80% of the tank volume. I leave the sump alone, so it's not an 80% water change by any stretch, but
yeah,
it's still a hefty water change. I think it's probably overstocked in reality, but yeah.
I don't think so at all. Yeah, it's not like you've got massive predators in there, you know, like huge predators. No. They're all getting on really well. They're kind of well, they are shoaling fish, aren't they? So they do need actually to be together, don't they?
The silverdollars stick together nicely. It's a nice effect. The water obviously going to get quite a significant amount bigger.
Yeah.
I did have severums before. Obviously, there's one gold severum left, but there were 5 sevs in there before, and they've all sort of passed on over the years.
Yeah. That's a lovely tank, mate. And what effect is the wood? Is it like a pine? Is it?
Like an oak, I think it is.
Right.
I can't remember which oak it was. I think it's.
They do so much choice, don't they?
Yeah.
The trims and that.
So long ago as well now.
Yeah.
But it's an exciting experience going down to ND and saying this is what I want.
Yeah, yeah. This is the size I want.
Because I went down. I travelled. We were in the area for something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But we went in and had a little look at the showroom and stuff, and that's if you're looking to buy a tank, it's great to have that custom built element of it.
Oh, you can't beat having a custom built tank. Like, you know, when you go to the Maidenheads and you're looking at the other tanks, you're thinking, should I get one, should I not? And you just go, I'll just go to ND Aquatics and they'll build me what I want.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
Before we moved into this house, I had the Rena 6.5 foot one.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest tank I could find sort of off the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I ran that on externals, FX6, Eheim sort of classic filters. That was a great fish tank.
Yeah. You start with something big, didn't you? I remember when I got my first 6 foot and I thought it was the biggest tank in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd managed to get myself up to a 4 foot before that, and then managed to jump up to a 6.5, and I was ecstatic.
Yeah, yeah. I like the size of this. It's a lovely size tank. So we're in Jordan's fish room now, so this is in his garage. Check out this tank. He's got so many cool bits in it. Look at this gar. So what type of gar is it?
So it's a Florida gar.
Yeah.
It's quite a chunky boy or girl. As we briefly touched on earlier on, I used to have two, but one passed away a little while back. It's probably my favourite fish. I always find it difficult to pick a favourite, but it's
got a lovely tail on it. Look at the tail.
Yeah, when we talk about fish that sort of interact more with you, it will come over and take a look. It's obviously looking for food, but
yeah. Take a chunk out your finger.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a few videos on my Instagram of it in slow-mo.
Trying to get ya. Yeah. It's a lovely fish, man. I've never kept them. I will. One day I will get into them, 100%.
People say they go really well with rays and bits and pieces, so not quite so sure with arowana.
Yeah, because obviously with the arowanas, they're probably on the same level, aren't they? You know, and they're always looking at each other and stuff. But I don't know, if you grow them up, maybe. But I wouldn't like to chuck one like that in with my arowanas. I think it might go a bit wrong.
Yeah.
What else you got in there? I see you got a Geo.
So yeah, there's another Geo Alta Franz. He's in there because he wasn't playing nicely with the rest. It just keeps the sand turning over. I find Geos go really, really well with Bichirs. Yeah, they get on really well. I don't ever have an issue.
No.
So his fins are probably in better condition than the ones in the lounge.
Yeah, well,
and stuff
that's right. He's been left on his own. These guys aren't going to go near him, are they?
No, they're not interested at all. Most of them are just sat there. There's a decent sized ornate in the corner in front of you now.
So let's get on to you. How'd you say it?
Bichir, I say.
Bichir. Let's get on to your Bichirs, because honestly, mate, I don't think I've ever seen so many in a tank before, and they are absolutely amazing, aren't they?
So yeah, it sort of it grew out of the tank in the lounge. I had a few, and then I got a few more, and then I wanted to get more. So this tank was available. It's not the prettiest tank in the world, but it's got a good footprint. So this is just about 9 foot, a couple of inches under, long, 3 foot wide, and then 2 foot tall. So it's a really nice footprint for keeping Bichir's Polypterus. Tigalsi coming across there, and yeah, ever since I've had a few sort of upper water swimming fish, but it's been dedicated to Bichir, and yeah.
There's so many in there. These guys at the back here, massive, aren't they?
Yeah, there's certainly some.
It's so nice seeing them all together.
Yeah.
And getting on as well, you know.
Yeah, it's good to see them together. I think they're one of the unusual fish that can be slightly territorial in, well, I say unusual fish, but they can be slightly territorial in smaller numbers. Together, I just don't see any of that.
No.
There's research into it in bits and pieces, and
yeah, it's probably because there's so many of them. They're not going to just pick on one, are they? Because it's just like a bit like with the arowanas, you know. I found more in a tank is better.
Yeah.
You know, and odd numbers I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get on odd numbers. I don't know why. It just.
I don't know how many.
It just works, you know.
I couldn't tell you how many.
No, I wouldn't like a count either.
But there's some big old fish in there.
So what types you got? I see you got a few Telgolsi in here. You got a couple on you.
Yeah, a couple of Telgolsi, an ornate pinnis, which should be just in front of your camera about now. The one without the patterns on, and then we've got one with more stripes. So they sort of.
Yeah, that is a lovely fish, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what do these sort of push through size-wise?
I wouldn't expect much more out of them now. So you can get about 14, I think. 14 inches.
We've got this guy here. What is this here then?
This is an Enlicheri, I believe the pronunciation, or an Enlicheri. Never remember my Latinise. But that's a nice sized captive bred, chunky fish.
Yeah, he's a unit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good size. Good size. There's another that's a bit bigger. So you've got another captive bred in front of you. So that one in front of the camera now, I got when it was 1.5 inches.
Tiny little fish,
Started off in here.
Yeah,
Moved through the tanks over time, and yeah, it's now, well, it's well over a foot long.
Ah, it's a monster, mate. Absolute monster.
Yeah, I've never really taken them out to measure or anything like that. I just leave them be.
Yeah, yeah. There's no point stressing them out, is there?
I try occasionally to try and get a tape measure or something up against the glass, but
yeah,
it's all a bit.
And they all run off, don't they?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And you got, is that a Laprade?
Yeah, it used to be called Lapradii, I think it was.
Yeah.
But they were reclassified as Polypterus Bichir.
Right.
They sort of merged them with what was Polypterus Bichir. I think that's a bit contentious in some circles, but yeah, I always refer to it as a lap because it does seem significantly different.
Yeah, and it's the original name, as we know, don't we?
Yeah, and that one there was wild caught as well.
Fascinating to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, picked them up from a board of water in Altrincham, I think it was.
Nice.
Travelled up purely for them.
Yeah.
I knew they were in. Another little one coming here.
I think you've got the best Bichir tank in the UK. What do you reckon?
No, I reckon there's a chap that's got a better one, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
The chap that wrote the Bichir handbook, Josh.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
He's got an incredible setup with some real impressive fish.
Where's he based then?
Cornwall, Devon Way, I think he is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've never been to see it. I've only ever seen photos, but that's a great setup.
I'll have to check it out. I've seen that book advertised a few times. I think you've got
I've got
a
a copy of it upstairs. Do like a fish book.
Yeah, I bet it's quite an interesting read, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really interesting. If you're getting into Bichir, it's definitely worth taking a look and getting a copy. It's a really reasonably priced book. It's not like I'm selling it for him now. There you go, Josh.
Yeah.
If you see this.
You've got to give this man some commission, mate.
Well, I think it was about, in comparison to what a lot of fish books are, it was really reasonably priced at 25 quid or something in comparison to some of the others I've got. But yeah, big tags just come up to the front as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do love a tail gulls here. They're stunning. I've just picked up another one from Wolf, a tiny little one, to grow out again because I love my one so much. I've had it 3 years from Wolf, and I just thought I want to get another one. You know.
Yeah, they're one of the more colourful species. So.
And they don't get as chunky. They get a bit longer, don't they?
A bit slender and a bit more active. These sort of. So, I don't know, I could be teaching you to suck eggs here, but the upper jaw Polypterus I find are a lot more active. So that's your Tegs, your Dalhousie, Senegals, Parmus, Poli, all of those. They just seem a little bit more active than some of the lower jaws. Yeah. So that lower jaw there has been sat there for a few minutes now. So yeah, I find the upper jaws a lot more active, which brings a nice blend into this tank. There's a lot of people that say you shouldn't keep upper jaws and lower jaws together, but I've literally never seen
no, you've had no problem
issue at all. As long as they're a decent size, like this Enley isn't going to take on this upper jaw.
That is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that your biggest one, is it?
That's the biggest one, yeah. There's another that's similar, the one I got from Jamie, the Congicus, the Congo, but not playing ball and coming out at the moment.
No, there's a few under this wood here, isn't there? I've noticed quite a few with their tails on that.
There's a lot of people that say keep them with no decor and bits and pieces, but you can just see they appreciate it.
Yeah, they need something to hide, don't they?
Some of the shyer species, they don't want to be out in the light all day long. As we touched on, this is more light than what they're used to, so we've upped the lighting for video quality. I normally have it a bit more dark and murky as such, so it's good to see them out as much as this, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I don't even normally see them in this much light.
Do you spend a lot of time out here then, do you? You must do.
Yeah, the other half will come looking for me
Yeah.
occasionally and say you've been out there for a while, you're alright.
Yeah. Just sitting there admiring your fish.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, mate.
Tinkering as well. I think that's the...
Yeah.
There's always something to do.
Of course there is. Cleaning the glass and...
Cleaning the glass, yeah. Probably one of my worst traits, not cleaning my glass. I only ever clean the front panels. I do not clean the sides or the back.
Well, it's such a deep tank to get to at the back as well, isn't it?
So yeah, proper fish house. tank. It's here for a purpose rather than for aesthetics.
Well, that's right. Yeah, it was fish keeping, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, it's lovely, mate. Absolutely blown away by the size of them.
Other thing out here is lovely and warm.
Yeah, yeah.
To come out and it's balmy 22 degrees at the moment. So still a couple of heaters in the tank, but they're not powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it just keeps it all ticking over though, doesn't it, for him? What sand you got in here then, mate? Is that?
So this is garnet sand. It's like used for sandblasting and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
It was something that I thought I'd give a go, which is why there isn't tons of it in there. I think if I was going to do it again, I'd go for a slightly more reddy purple colour.
Yeah.
But I ordered it online, and therefore you can't see what it's going to look like.
No, until you fully open it up, yeah.
Yeah, it really brings out the patterns I found in comparison to like a black dark bottom.
Yeah.
I think they contrast really well over it. There's loads of stuff online about it.
Well, yeah, they sort of do blend into the colour of their sand, really, don't they? You know, if you put a black sand in there, they will go darker, the fish, won't they?
Yeah, and it's obviously a struggle to blend in with this.
Yeah. It's a very old colour, yeah. It's nice though, isn't it? I've got the same, I think it's the exact same sand in my snakehead tank.
Yeah?
Yeah, very similar to this.
I really like it. I think it's just something different. And yeah, I tried a few other things to help bring the pattern out. I was keeping them under like a pink light for a period of time.
Yeah.
And if I'm brutally honest, I saw no difference.
Really? Yeah.
I did it for a few months, and then I sort of looked back at some old photos, and I was like, nah. So I just started keeping them under like a whiter light again.
Yeah. So what lights are you running on this tank then?
So these are nothing special. I think it's one of the things I'd look at next is probably upgrading lighting and bits and pieces. These are sort of generic fish tank LEDs. I think there's a 4 foot, couple of 4 foot strips or something like that over the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do a job. They light up the tank again. From an aesthetics point of view, they serve a purpose. I've got a Fluval Aqua Sky on another tank.
Yeah.
Which has got all the controls and bits and pieces, but I probably don't use it anywhere near its full potential.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's got thunderstorm settings and all sorts of
all sorts, and I've got it on like a slightly yellow light.
Yeah.
And I just leave it to it. I don't grow plants. I've done a few planter tanks in the past, but you can't grow them in there. They'll just
tear them to bits. Yeah. Yeah.
No point at all. In my other tank, there's the silverdollars, so you're not going to get them in there. Yeah.
And the filtration on this tank then, so obviously you've got the pump here and it's going into, you made your own sump in
so
there?
Yeah, it's a DIY overhead sump, which everyone will have seen Joey online, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nothing exciting in the grand scheme of things, but it
it's
really
doing its job, isn't it?
It goes through a set of like the 3 pull-out drawers, you know, the little storage ones.
Yeah.
In the top I used to keep filter floss, but I was changing it that regularly that I just thought it's a waste of time, so I just put in quite a fine foam.
Yeah.
And then it's got the old-fashioned bio ball trickle tower like drawer.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's just full of ceramic media, so it's probably passing through, I reckon it's probably 25 kilos or so of ceramic media in there.
Yeah, it's plenty in it.
And yeah, the tank's clear enough. These are big predatory fish. They make a lot of waste. And it does a good job.
And it's a big tank as well.
Yeah. It's a really simple and effective way of filtering a big tank.
Yeah.
If you got into canisters, then like yourself, you've got quite a few canisters on yours.
They're hard work, mate.
Yeah, they're hard work. That one, I literally pull out the top foam from the top drawer.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You can either replace it or swill it off.
Yeah, so you can have a bit like ready to load it and clean the other bit, and there's no rush, is there?
No rush at all. I used to run filter socks on the other one with the sump.
Yeah.
Again, I just got fed up.
Oh, you change them all the time?
Yeah.
I did it with the marine tank. Do you know what? In the end, I just got rid of the chamber and I put a filter floss section in instead of the socks. They were driving me crazy.
It's the socks.
Yeah, you come home from work and it'd be overflowing. You'd be going, oh my god, again. Got to do it again.
Cleaning them was a nightmare.
Yeah. I should put them in the washing machine.
Yeah. I should jet wash mine.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they get grim, don't they? Nah, that's awesome, mate. And you've got some grow outs here as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so there's some grow outs behind us. Yeah, you can see on that, mate. It's, that's what I sit there, really.
Oh, right.
So this tank, again, not pretty or aesthetic in any way, but is serving a purpose. Everything's hiding away at the moment, but we have got a few datnoids that are growing out in there.
Yeah.
See if we can get anything to come out. A few datnoids that are growing out. Hopefully they'll be at a size shortly where they'll be able to move into the lounge soon.
Yeah, definitely. These guys will be. There's 3 of them in there, isn't there? What you can.
There's 5 datnoids total. 1, 2, 1 just under there, and 1 in the other corner, and they're all a decent size. I'm not used to being fed at this time of day.
No, I know the feeling. They're probably not used to having the light on right now either, are they?
No, it would be a lot more dim in here. I'm hoping the little clitoris come out at the front.
Yeah, I can just about see them.
They're really interesting. They're from Wharf.
Right.
And they're Parmus, I can't remember the exact sort of, they had like a river name for them. But they're very different. I've not seen exceptional growth from them. But hopefully
Well, they do take a while to grow, don't they? And once they get to a certain size, they pack on the size massively, don't they?
Yeah, I just need them to get big enough to go in with the others in the 7 foot, and then they should have all of the space they need to grow.
I know, it's really hard not to rush, isn't it, as well? Because you want them in there, you're like, oh, I want to put them in there, and you know if you do, something's going to go wrong, and you end up losing the fish, don't you?
Yeah.
I've made the mistake, I've done it a few times, mate. I'm like, they'll be fine, they'll be absolutely fine, put them in the tank, within a couple of minutes, it's all gone the wrong way.
That was probably one of my worst fish keeping moments. I bought some tinfoil barbs, which are now at the Downs, I think he calls himself the Downs Aquatics.
Oh, right, okay.
He's got a big fiberglass pond, EZ like one.
EZ, yeah, Infinity, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a big one of those, and those tinfoil barbs are in there now, and they're massive now. I got 7 of them, and at the time I had an Odo pike, the African pikes, in the 7 foot, and as I dropped them in, one just disappeared straight away. It was like using them as feeder fish. I thought they were big enough. Yeah,
it's not. Some fish just. I remember I put a Bichir in a tank, in my big tank years ago, and it was quite big, and I thought, oh, it's going to be absolutely fine. My silver arrow island went down and picked it up and just cut it in half within a minute. And I thought, no way, like, and it's never ever shown any aggression to any other fish before. Like, it's always lived like with clown loaches and stuff, and I just thought, oh my god, that's a massive error from me, do you know what I mean? But you just wouldn't expect it.
No. Yeah, not going to play ball today, it's not for you, son. Oh.
No. Yeah, they're starting to come out a bit. How many have you got in there then?
So there's only the 2 of them. I did have a couple of other grow outs in there that I was able to move on. But these 2 are just growing that little bit slower. They're probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches now.
Yeah.
But they're thin 4 or 5 inches. So we just need to pack on a bit more weight. They're not going to come out. No. Camera shy.
Yeah.
But as I was saying to you earlier on, I used to have a group of archer fish in there that acted as really good didders. Really cool fish, but they'd got a bit big for there. They didn't fit into my plans for the other aquariums, so I moved them on. And since then, the datnoids have been sulking, for want of a better term.
Yeah, shy, yeah.
They need a bit of movement within the tanks and diver fish, I think.
Yeah, just something to give them a bit more, what's the word for it?
A bit more confidence.
It's confidence, yeah.
So in here we've got a mixture of platies and crebensis.
Yeah.
Really odd little mixture, if I'm honest. Just done some breeding of really common fish.
It's enjoyable though, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to look to probably trade these in to a local shop soon and just get something else. So all those crebensis fry, the parents are in there somewhere as well. So I managed to raise them up in the same tank.
Oh wow.
I think the leaves on the bottom really supported that.
Hmm.
Can I see the mum and dad anywhere at the moment? No, I can't. They're definitely in there.
Yeah, just give them somewhere to sort of hide.
There's nothing behind there, but it's really tucked in. But yeah, not pretty, but something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
The platies aren't the best quality, so after a few generations I've seen a few dodgy spines, so unfortunately we'll have to do something about that.
Yeah.
But the Crebensis are doing really well, getting to a good size. As I say, they've grown up in there with the parents, which I didn't think I'd get away with. Thought I'd have to pull the parents or pull the fry.
Yeah.
But
I've got a Crebensis in my 1,000 litre tank.
yeah.
And I got given to me ages ago for some guy, probably about a year ago. It's in there with a blue base Asian arowana. It was living with Oscars, and it's in this massive bit of wood, and it comes out to feed. It's getting quite big, to be fair. And yeah, it's been absolutely fine. It hasn't been picked off or nothing. So
Crazy that.
yeah, but I am tempted to get it out and maybe get a female with it and try and breed them.
Right.
So they're fun to breed, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just interesting to see. As I say, I'll probably trade all of these in after we've done a bit of culling of the platies, and just get something else, another little pair of cichlids or even another live bearer. The little one likes the colours. Yeah, it's interesting, I find.
And it's such an easy tank to look after as well, isn't it? You know, just water change, clean the filter
With a
any now and
sponge
then.
filter, it's, yeah, you just leave them going and going until that you sort of see it.
Yeah, it gets clogged, doesn't it? Yeah. Get a bucket, get some tank water in it, squeeze it out, and then put it back in. It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, easiest tank to maintain that I've got, I imagine.
No, every fish keeper's got a tank like this. I've got one as well. Just like bits you can mess around with, and if you find something in the shop you want to get or whatever, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Used the tank as a grow out in the past, hospital tank in the past, and I just took the opportunity to chuck a few platies in there and a pair of cribs, and it now looks like that.
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah, he does get a bit. I always feed with tongs because I'm a bit of a.
Yeah.
Don't trust him as far as I can
No.
find.
Wow, yeah, check him out, man. That's wicked, isn't it?
Yeah, he certainly takes the food.
That is wicked, man. And do you feed prawns to all this lot as well, do you?
Yeah, I take prawns. I feed a lot of whitefish, bassifillets, tilapia.
Yeah.
Something that I'd like to learn more about would be like the best foods for them. I spoke, as I said, to Josh Pickett quite a lot on food in the past, and what sort of food we should be feeding.
Yeah.
Because I've always wondered if tilapia is a better fish because it's freshwater fish, and these are freshwater fish. So
I see what you're saying, yeah.
should we feed tilapia rather than I don't know, like cod or something like that?
Yeah.
I try to feed bassa, which is Pangasius fillets. I feed a lot of that. It's a cheap and cheerful one. Not sure what he's doing with that over there now. Seems to just be pushing the other fish around.
He does, doesn't he? He's a bit of a bully, isn't he? You don't want to be pushing that one round, he's bigger than him.
Yeah, but he certainly.
No, he really takes food, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a really interactive fish.
Yeah.
In comparison to the obviously the Polypterus that are just going to sit on the bottom and.
Do you know what it reminds me of when it takes food? An arapaima.
Yeah.
How it's slow and then bosh, it's gone. You know? With the arowanas, you know what you're going to get.
It's coming for you and it's not going to mess around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a great fish.
He's wicked, isn't he? He's got so much personality.
Yeah. We'll settle down in a minute and take that.
He's teasing all that, like that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he'll be spreading the smell around as well, which will get the rest of them fired up. But yeah, I think it's I think there's an article in Practical Fish Keeping the other day about not keeping guards in aquariums and bits and pieces. I think if you've got a good sized tank, they're all right. He's not bashing into anything. He's absolutely fine.
No.
Like the whole surface layer's clear for him.
Well, he seems to be thriving in your tank, mate.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. It's all credit to
when a fish is taking food like that, it means they're happy, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, you're not happy. You're not happy by this, right? Let me see where that went.
And are the gars air breathers as well?
Yeah.
They are. So all of the fish in here, except from the Geo,
yeah,
all air breathers, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah, so you get quite a lot of fish, obviously going up to the top then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that why you've lowered the water level a bit?
Definitely.
Yeah.
The polyptera sort of breach as they come up.
Yeah.
And if they get spooked or anything, they jump. I don't want them to be. Took that one a bit more gentle.
Yeah. Well, he's got a full belly now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's why I leave my water level low as well. Obviously with the arowanas and stuff as well. A lot of people message me and say, why you left your water level so low? And I said, well, I've got Bichir's in there, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the arowanas as well. And I like them to just have a bit of room, especially when I'm feeding, because they can create a big old fuss, you know, and with them banging the glass and stuff, I don't want them damaging their heads or whatever, you know. So yeah, I've found it's a good thing to lower the water level. And your water level's about the same as mine there.
Yeah, it's probably like 3 inches, 4 inches away from the top maybe. There's no science to it. I just keep it reduced.
Yeah.
Find this beneficial for the fish. Well, I think it's beneficial for the fish. There's that Congo starting to come out, Jamie's old Congo.
Yeah.
This guy's so far taken every bit of prawn I've thrown in.
This guy here just coming here now.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a nice one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a lovely fish. Really nice fish. That's probably, if the gar's not my favourite, it's that.
Yeah, that is a lovely fish, isn't it?
Going back for a bit of a hide now. Start to see a bit of movement out of them now because there's a bit of food in there. They take a little while, so
yeah, they are quite slow, aren't they? They take a while to get obviously all the smells in the water, because they obviously live at the bottom of the river basin, don't they? You know, so they are relying on their smell, really, aren't they?
Yeah, I find what we say for quite a while, waiting for more to come out. Sometimes I find they react better to pellets.
Yeah,
they really
well,
come out from pellets.
They create such a smell. Do you fit the sinking carnival ones?
Yeah, I've got sinking carnival and massival.
Yeah, that's it.
Massival just
reeks, doesn't it? I've fed my stingrays this morning with babies, and obviously I break it out with my fingers. And on the way here, I washed my hands like 3 or 4 times, and on the way here I could still smell it on my fingers.
Yeah, massival is just a stinky food.
It is. But it's full of goodness, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's all of that smells certainly attracting the fish. I think the guy's had enough now.
Yeah, look at him, look. It's an epic tank, mate, honestly. The fish in there, you've got some stunning examples, haven't you?
Yeah. And then, because they get on really well, I think the size of the tank, they sort of bunch up a bit. There's more room in there. If there was anything that ever came up, I'd always have a look.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You've got more room in here for them.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're getting on so well, like you say.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a nip amongst them in the entire time we've been here. They just sort of lay together.
And how easy are they to breed? Can you breed them over here?
You can. I think I've seen a few reports now of them being bred. It's something that I think is certainly more complex than your average fish.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it comes down to seasonality, if I'm honest, from what I've seen. You see quite a few Senegals being bred. So yeah, breeding is something I've thought about, but then I've thought about what am I going to do with all the offspring.
Yeah, yeah.
If I get 100 Dalhousie, it might be alright, but if I get 100 Endleys or something like that, where there aren't really the people with the tank capacity for them, what am I going to do with them all?
Well, that's it. We have to obviously take them to the shops and trade for food, or you know.
Trying to get that Congo back out.
Yeah, he's just poking his head out now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's normally a really good feeder. So hoping this. Yeah. wrong time of day and brighter light on, I think they are all a little bit.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. Car's still going.
Yeah. No, thanks so much for having me over there, Jordan, mate. I really appreciate it.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Absolutely.
One more if you want to go and have a look at another.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's gonna. So you got. Where's this one upstairs?
So this is upstairs. Small little cube tank. Another tank that I actually really enjoy. Working from home nowadays quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it's up in the office.
So what you got in here then? Obviously you got some tetras and that, haven't you?
So yeah, cardinals, tetras.
Yeah.
Little group of 10 cardinal tetras, and then there's 10 red phantoms that I picked up from Wharf, not Wharf, sorry, Pier, at their Pleco day recently when I went up there. And there, you can always see them display into each other. The males are constantly sort of flaring. And
do you reckon they spawn? They might spawn in here.
yeah, I reckon they might. There's certainly, I'd hope, the right sort of conditions in there. It's massively over filtered, but the flow's not too bad in there.
No.
Lots of leaf litter.
It's a wicked tank, mate, honestly. It's so nice to have like in your study here, isn't it?
Yeah, so yeah, sat next to this for work. The fish get fed 4 or 5 times a day.
That's why them cardinals got such big bellies, look.
Yeah, the cardinals they just add a real dash of colour.
Yeah.
In comparison to some of my other tanks, that colour and activity is lovely. As I say, the red phantoms are a constant, and there's some really interesting little bits in there. The red lizard catfish, when you find them, are just something else as well. Like,
yeah, just see what you say, look.
I can spend half an hour finding the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, where we saw the datnoid grow out, I was thinking about doing this on a slightly bigger scale.
Yeah.
Either upgrading this into there, or yeah.
Yeah, the problem is with this tank here, I'll be at a fish shop somewhere and I'd see a datnoid, which was small, and I'll be like, oh, I could put that in there with them, it'd be fine for a while. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to say to yourself, right, this tank is only for community fish, you know?
Yeah. It's done now as well, there's nothing else going in there. That is the tank, the tetras, and the little corridors.
What maintenance do you do on it? Just little water change and that?
So, water change every week. Obviously, much smaller scale water change in comparison to what I'm doing everywhere else. So I actually do this one with buckets. Everything else is done with a
yeah
like a 1.5 inch pipe. Couple of buckets out, couple of buckets in. All of the plant roots that you see going in are pothos and monstera.
Yeah.
So massive sort of nitrate export.
Yeah, it gets rid of all of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you can see the plants thriving.
Needs a good hack back the plants, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But
it looks nice and natural though, doesn't it?
yeah, it's just nice to sit and watch and work beside. Really. And I'm a big fan of Tannin Aquatics. I don't know if you've heard
Tannin
of them online. They're an American company. They do a podcast.
Right.
Yeah, and he's always talking about botanicals, so leaves, twigs, seed pods, and everything else that he talks about, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Doing him a disservice saying that. But that's what probably really inspired me to start collecting leaves and twigs. So yeah, most of that I've sort of collected. There's a few Indian almond leaves in there, but most of it's wood I've collected.
What, from the UK? Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of beech leaves. We've got some really great beech forests locally, so those small spindly sticks are beech root. There is a bit of wood in there that I did buy from a shop, like a bit of spider wood, but just to give it a bit of structure. But yeah, oak leaves, beech leaves, alder cones, beech twigs, oak twigs.
There's loads in there, isn't there? Yeah.
And it's just constantly evolving, because the leaves break down, so you've got to boil some more, prep them up and chuck them in. So it never looks the same week to week.
Well, it'd be like the riverbed of something, doesn't it, really? You know, that always moving around, isn't it?
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's an awesome tank, mate. You're making me want to put one in my bedroom somewhere. My missus go off the wall.
Another reaction video.
Yeah, do another reaction video, yeah. No, that's great, mate. Well, thanks so much for showing me around, man. I really appreciate it. You've got some amazing setups, mate.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thank you for coming in.
That's alright. Right, I'm going to end the video there, guys. Thanks for watching as always. Like and subscribe my channel, ding notification bell, and keep it real with her.